Great, guys. Thanks for joining in on another episode of YY Social. This is episode number 40. Today's episode is with Nathan Bueckert. He owns the Winston Cigar shop downtown off of 8th Ave, which is Stephen Ave, right next to Poppy. He also, most importantly, owns the Derrick. So that is a gin bar distillery, which is in the same building, actually. And as well as the Untitled Champagne Lounge, which is where we filmed today. Super cool spot. Every every month, the last day of the month, they have a really cool special night where they do music pairing with cocktails and such. So go check them out at the end of this month, guys. But yeah, let's just get straight into the conversation. Cheers. Hey guys, so we're here for episode 40 at the Untitled Champagne Lounge with Nathan. It's actually our second shot here. I forgot to take my phone off airplane mode and got a little call there. So anyway, we're back. The Untitled Champagne Lounge would you say it's your flagship spot here? For you, is it your most proud establishment?
They're all different. That's actually a really good question. I started on just as a bartender at the Derrick, and then this place opened like a couple months after. So I was one of the first people to start working here, and I did have a love for this place. Everyone kind of has their favorite to work at and stuff because it's very different. Over here was really clubby in the first days, and as a young guy it's just I don't know, you're a bartender at a club. There's pretty girls everywhere,
and you're the bartender and you're making the cocktails and it's a nice place.
It's pretty cool. And then you kind of get at the time what my perception was I'd work the Derrick and be like, okay, well, I have to work the Derrick to work Untitled or whatever. Now moving forward, where I'm at now, I can see how valuable the Derrick is versus Untitled, because Untitled's only open three days a week now, and then we were speaking previously about musical pairings opening up, which is our industry event on Sundays, which is the last Sunday of every month.
Oh yeah, so I am gonna have to take some of that stuff that we talked about in the beginning. Before I forget, guys, the last Sunday of every month, we now have musical pairing. That's what you said it was called?
Musical pairings, yeah. Down
here at the Untitled Champagne Lounge. It's right next to Poppy on Stephen Ave. So it's going to be a great time, guys. Come right on down. Again, that's last Sunday of every month. So you were also saying about, you're telling me about what you've been doing for DJ work in the last year, how you've increased your productivity since we did our first episode about a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, I've played a couple shows since we spoke. But mainly I've been doing the last Sunday of every month here. So I've been doing a house night, which has been really cool. It's been cool to see it grow. It's been cool to see how kind of other bars kind of interact with it and stuff. So more than anything, it's been just a house night for cocktails, for the industry, for just kind of a different flavor for Calgary, because as much I'm probably, if I'm out on a Sunday, and everyone knows you end up at Greta and stuff, which is fine, but it's
I don't know, I'm kind of over it there. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I've done it so many times that you can only go there so many times where it's exciting, right?
Yeah, and what we want to is just that's the late night spots. Just it gets busy around 1 or 2 type thing, and it's just it's not that it isn't busy here, but our kind of take on it, because we don't want to be stepping on anyone else's business, but this is definitely a very different flavor from what that is. So people going out specifically for a night could end up there after or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's a great way of looking at it too, right? Given my time spent in the industry as well, it's it's almost like operations, they have dinner one place and then they come here, they would have dinner at the Derrick, then have cocktails here, and then go out to Greta after, right? Like that's kind of a fun sounding night.
Yeah.
Now that I say it that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like that's like it's just like I don't know. Everyone gets super loaded on Sundays, but industry wise. So it's just like I've said I don't want to end up certain places, and like it's just like even like Hudson's on a Monday or whatever. And it's just like those are great nights. Like it's just like people are there because it's busy. Like you don't want to be at a night where it's just like you're out with your friends and you're just like, wow, this like super dead bar is like, you know. So it's just like there's a reason why people end up there. Greta has a great product. Hudson's has a great product where it's just like it's busy. Like it's just like what you have to offer is just like you have games or whatever. If like there's people,
I do like that.
You know, it's just like it's a super smart business model, and that's the best industry night in Calgary. So but on the last Sunday of every month, we're offering something that's not really like it's just different. Like it's just like it's cocktails and house music. So people going out specifically for that. It's just like there's enough to go around on that, and like the next musical pairings is with Shelby Goodwin, who used to be the bar manager here. He's currently one of the managers at Salt and Brick, which is right attached to Greta there, and like it's just like we're working with him on it. So it's just like it's not like there's any like I don't know, the industry's big enough to like have to share, right? Like, it's just like, and that's the thing with industry nights and stuff like that too. Is just like it's about collaboration. It's about like having people, I don't know, hanging out together that are from the industry, right? So
well, you know, that's something I really do like about Calgary is it's you know, some of the other cities, big cities I've lived in, you know, you don't really get that that community. It's very, very cutthroat. So for example, if you were starting an industry night here in Toronto, let's say like instead of you know, Greta or whoever seeing, oh, that's a good opportunity because they will have they'll have dinner and some cocktails, like vibe out a little bit and then come here, like that works good for us. They see it as a threat and they try and shut it down, or like take over the competition with monopoly of the market and stuff like that, right?
I get that a little bit too, though. Like it's just like when another cocktail bar opens up, we're just like,
you get that too.
How do we bury these guys? Like, not in like a mean way or anything, but it's just like
it's business and it's competitive, and you know, it's really funny that we're talking about this because the further that businesses are or like the technology is advancing at such an exponential rate, you know, and now with AI, I've spent in the last month at least 100 hours learning different AI programs, and I think a lot of people really need to spend time learning and studying in their free time about, like, you know, you don't have to go to and fully immerse yourself in a program or anything, but at least start learning how you can use some of those tools to further your job. So like if you were to do social media posting or whatever, you can do proper research through ChatGPT to make sure that all of your content is actually going to be more likely to go viral and to be more engaging with your audience.
Yeah, I started using ChatGPT a lot for like even just stupid stuff like replying to emails, because like you have 200 emails or whatever. But I caught myself, I was like really embarrassed because I said, I said some, like, this girl applied here and like it was like whatever, and like we interviewed her, but I meant to like we hired somebody else, and it was like she was great and stuff, but it's just like we just like, so I meant to send her an email that was like this nice kind of like, hey, we're looking for another direction or whatever, but like in the very corner of the email it says written by ChatGPT. Oh fuck, I was just like, that's so embarrassing. Hopefully she didn't see that, but so now I'm really careful on it because like that seems just really disingenuous.
That's so funny, dude.
I was like, man, this is such a like a well-written thing, and I was like, fuck, this is terrible. Oh, it was so embarrassing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was bad.
So for my well, it's funny you said that too, because for my website, I have videos of the different products. Yeah. So I've made like little advertisements, but I make the advertisements through making animated videos, or basically animated presentations on Canva. And so, like, it's a bunch of templates, and you just fill in the templates with your info, and then you animate each slide, right? So, anyway, so in the templates, like, there's like this little area, and it was like a paragraph, but it was small writing, like, on the side, and all my main information was like on the right side. But I had already posted this video. And I'm like, you know, watching all the videos, and I've been up for like 18 hours. So I'm just like, not like fully focused at this point. And it says something, it's fun creating with Canva. Don't forget to delete this box before presenting.
Oh no, and you're just like, I did.
So of course I deleted it right away and had to remake it and upload it. But
you learn those lessons as you go though and stuff too, because it's just like before you post, like you almost need to have like a checklist of things that you go through. It's like, am I good on spelling? And that's like when I'll print menus or whatever, like we'll have like hilarious misprints. They're just like, fuck, like how did everybody miss this? But it's just one of those things where it's just like you learn the hard way a couple times, and you're just like, okay, I need to like start, because it's like the level of professionalism that you want to like lay out and stuff, and you're just like, fuck, like I don't want to look like a scrub. Absolutely.
And I had to do, you know, like I had done so many redos and like touch-ups and stuff that I had like whatever version 7.0 of like a certain PDF or certain video and stuff, that it's like what you're saying, you know, there's certain things that you only get a first shot at. And these products that I'm launching, there's only going to be the one first shot.
And it goes down to, it's just like once you get your systems figured out, which is like part of the business thing where it's just like it's constantly evolving, you're like hiring and firing people or like whatever, and it's just like the systems have to be reminded and stuff, and your systems have to be in place. Like I've gone through tons of scenarios where I've hired a new person and not giving them the proper information, so they can't they can't be operating properly essentially, and if they fuck up, that's not really them fucking up, it's me not giving them all the material right off the get-go. So it's like if I'm like,
so you're taking the accountability of their lack of knowledge.
Yeah, and like that's what it really needs to come down to. Like it's just like it's really easy to just like play the blame game and stuff, but it's just like in anything that kind of like happens, especially like within these walls here, it's just like I have to take accountability for it. It's just like what did I do wrong here? And like that's always it. Like it's like if a server's not doing something properly, it's just like, hey, well, how much did we like lay down the law for like this is how it needs to be? Because if she's just like, well, like nobody told me that, and it's just like, well, fuck, I can't really get mad at you then. Like it's just like I look like an asshole. So it's just like that's kind of like the first thing. As soon as something messes up, I'm like, hey, where can I be better here?
And you know, especially if you think about it too, is you know, you're thinking about that as in your position as a manager and still a young manager, like considering, because you're 28 now,
Well, I turned 28 on the 23rd here, actually.
Oh yeah, nice. What are you doing? Anything fun?
Yeah, I'm going to Coachella.
Oh, nice! That is awesome.
Yeah, it'll be
you know what's random? My mom and stepdad are randomly going, and they're like almost 60.
Sweet. That's awesome.
So I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's the cool thing about festivals and like music and stuff. Like so Shelby, who's the guy I was talking about earlier, he drags me all over the world, like just to random places and stuff on trips. Like last year around this time we went to Denver, and Denver and like the Red Rocks is like, it's a really cool city for live music, and we were there like at this like incredible concert, and we were surrounded, like in front of us were these like old grandmas, like Russian grandmas smoking joints. Beside us there was like Dee Dee and Paul from Idaho who are like 60 or something like that, and I'm just like, it's interesting to see the diversity and like just like, I don't know, like older people listening to music and stuff like that, which you like obviously they do, but it's just like, it's like house music and stuff, and they're just like going off, and it's just like, right? This is fucking awesome.
I know.
I'm like, I don't smoke weed, but when like a Russian granny hands you a joint, you're like, okay, sure.
She's gonna do it.
Like, sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So are you? I haven't like really taken a look at the front there. Do you guys do patio in summer?
Yep.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's tough with our street.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, oh, it's so narrow and tight. Like, where would they even, like, is there a spot for it? And I guess there is, but
Yeah, like anybody coming to visit, will see there's Untitled, and then there's this fucking scaffolding right next to
Yeah.
Untitled, and that has been there for, God, 5+ years.
so when
And
are they
it's
gonna
just-
get rid of that?
So this building, which the camera can't see, it's like all a brick wall on the other side of our bar, and that's the outside of the Barron building, which is a like historic building. Like this is like one of the oldest buildings in town.
Nice.
So really cool, but I don't know if I should or shouldn't say the company. A company is redoing it into high-end condos, from my understanding, and it's going to be connected to the plus 15s, which is really cool for business people because like during the winter when it's super cold, you like don't even have to leave your house. You can just like walk through the plus 15s to work or whatever, which is great. But they started construction on this a really long time ago, and something was obviously happening with money, so they've resumed construction, and apparently it's supposed to be done soon-ish, which means like a year, which probably means 2 years. So we're getting there. It's but anyways, like the patio is there's like the scaffolding, there's the patio, and then there's a bike lane, and then on the other side of the street there's another bike lane, and it's just like we're just like, yo,
Yeah,
can we like
and
axe this bike lane?
And there's not even a single like parking spot.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It sucks.
Yeah, they were. I think it was like a year or two ago. I read like an actual study that I don't know how they measured it, like whether it was by price or like amount of parking spaces per car or whatever it was, but Calgary had the worst parking system and prices in the world.
Probably, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Checks out.
That's crazy. I don't know, man. I never would have guessed that. I would have guessed like New York or, some like a huge metropolitan city.
Yeah, it's tough, but we are getting a patio. It's just like kind of like weird and set up, so it's just like my servers will have to like walk through the bike lane to get to a patio, and they're not letting us like shut down. Yeah, which is kind of like nobody's been like creamed by a scooter yet, but it's kind of like that's always like the worry is like you're like running food and you just get somebody decks you. So
or what do you do with carrying liquor on the sidewalk? Because you can't, right?
You can, because technically that's all our patio, so it's just like it's fine,
so
but
it's not public, or it's not public property.
No, like they, to the city's benefit, like they definitely like pushed really hard for patios and stuff, especially during like COVID. After
was big,
COVID.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of how the city handled a lot of stuff during.
No, they didn't.
At
they
least
didn't
we
handle
got patios out of it.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, they didn't really handle anything very well during that time, in my opinion. So, anyways, I think a lot of people are figuring that out now, and I think that's why.
Yeah, like, and I mean, as
where people are wanting Justin Trudeau to step down. I mean, I've never heard anything like that in Canadian politics, where even liberals are wanting him to step down from his position. That is crazy.
Everyone's broke, and like
everyone's broke. Everyone's upset. Everybody wants to change.
There's crazy inflation, which I don't know if anybody wants to fight inflation. Just go listen to Dave Bradley's podcast.
Yeah, you know what? Dave Bradley really did enlighten me, and he made me go do some extra research. Definitely want to hedge myself against inflation. You know, something that he said that really was a good perception for me, or he said a few things, or gave me a good perspective, is basically it's where you store your money is where you store the value of your time. So if the government just decides it's going to print more money, that means it's taking away the value of your time.
Yeah.
Because if you have $1 trillion divided by $15 an hour or whatever, all it means is it doesn't mean you have more money. It just means your dollars are worth less.
Yeah.
And
I don't think a whole lot of people understand that, and I was really fortunate to have met Dave, I think around 4 or 5 years ago now. So he kind of like, he Bitcoined me pretty early, and that was like kind of start COVID. I was like, not really, like I just like had money sitting around. I was just like, I don't know how to reinvest this or whatever, and
that's nice.
he started coming in and it was kind of like, that isn't real money, and I was just like, why? And then he was a little like he's never been like cards close to the chest for Bitcoin, but I think he's had enough conversations with people that when you heard Bitcoin back in the day, you'd just be like, okay, whatever, type thing. And it's just like, I'm at the point now where I'm not trying to like it's just like, if I get in a conversation about it, I could talk about it forever because of how much I researched it and how much like I care about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, he was in kind of like the, just like, you know what, if you want to like learn about it, read this book. And I read the book and I was just like, oh, this is really cool. He's like, you know what, if you care about it more, read this other book. And I read the other book and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it.
You should tell me the book.
So the Little Bitcoin book, which is like this big, and it's like,
so it's a quick read.
Quick read, super easy. It's just like the basic, like what it's like, kind of Bitcoin for dummies. Like you don't really like, which I needed. And then the next one was the Bitcoin Standard, which is, I'd say the first like 50% at least of the book is just the history of money, and it's like really important to understand what money was before, because it's just like, whether it was cows or salt, or like it's like all these different like kind of like methods of trade, and it's just like, okay, well, what makes it valuable? And it's just like, salt is really great because it's divisible, and it's just like, but it's not great because I could go make my own salt, and then that would make everything less valuable. So it's just like, there's all these lessons in the history of money, and like it tells about this like essentially like island that was like a group ledger. They're called rye stones, I think, and essentially all the trade for the village happened through these rye stones in the center of the village, so everyone could see that this was traded with this or whatever. So it's just like, everyone kind of had like, it's like, that goes back to Bitcoin, to its kind of collective ledger. Everyone can see like everything that's going on or whatever. But then some dude came to the island and was just like, well, I could make my own rye stones and add them in. You're just like, yeah, you could, but then you fuck everything, and he did. So it's just like, there's all these lessons throughout it, and then by the time you get to Bitcoin, you're just like, Bitcoin is a potential answer to all of these like issues that money presents, or like issues that we've had. And that's why I was just like, I'm in, because it made sense.
Well, the disposable income that I'll be receiving from payout of my own company will be put into Bitcoin.
Nice.
So yeah. So that's
good.
why I don't know that much about it, but I know enough about David Bradley, and I know enough about you, and I know enough about the weakness of the Canadian dollar and the corruption of the Canadian government, enough to say that I will be putting money in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's
like, I had someone say to me, they're like, oh, so what happens when your digital money, you can't access it? I'm like, well, that's never happened, but you know what has happened? People have not been able to access their Canadian dollars when the government decided that they didn't want them to use it anymore. So, you know, as far as we know, in terms of historical experience, Bitcoin is actually more secure than the Canadian dollar.
For sure, it is more secure. Yeah, and it's a lot to wrap your head around as like somebody who.
It is crazy.
Because like, it's really easy to just live on the other side of the fence and just be like, you know what, that's really confusing, and like whatever. And like Dave went through, like, I would just listen to Dave's podcast if you want to. Listen
to Dave's podcast, guys. You can watch the episode on yychatbots.com, or you can watch it on YY Social's channel on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really good. I listened to it with my buddy the other day, and he was just like, fuck, I need to buy some Bitcoin. I'm just like,
oh, so he liked the episode.
Yeah, well, I don't know, and like, that's the thing with Bitcoin is like, everybody kind of sits there. I've sat there and been like, Yeah, it'd be nice to buy some more, but like we'll get around to it. And then like once it does start like on a bull run or something, you're just like, oh fuck, I missed it. And like it's not true, but like it's just like it's really easy to sit there and be like, oh, I'll get to it, and you just don't, and you just gotta sit there and you're just like, oh fuck, like, I screwed myself.
Absolutely, and that's why I jumped on the AI train, because that's going to be the next. That's going to be the next thing.
Yeah. For sure.
It's inevitable. It's going to be in every single business. What my business currently offers is a chatbot, essentially. So there's two of them. There's a basic. Both of the chatbots are capable of 7 different functions. So it's able to give out instant responses, seamless transaction, multi-language, omni-channel, and a few other things as well.
Cool.
And then there's a premium version as well. We sell them with source codes, or we'd sell them just on subscription-based model.
Cool.
And then we also do AI-powered YY marketing, and something that's really cool, that's an interesting concept, is so the chatbots that I make, they're not like just the pop-up window things with like the live sport and it's just annoying. So they're AI persona bots. So if you were a personal trainer and I went to your website, instead of it just being like the little green thing or whatever, it would be a picture of your face, and that would be you in the corner.
Oh, cool.
And so I would program this YY chatbot to basically analyze your style and way of speaking in tone and friendliness and manner, and then apply it to every single answer that I customly code into each step of the chatbot.
Cool.
So there's that, and then essentially I do the same or similar type methods for marketing. Sorry, I'm just promoting myself a little bit.
No, it's good. You should, as you should, man. You're saying you're working really hard on it, so.
Thanks, man.
As you should, yeah.
So we also have the AI influencers. So influencers, they can be hard to deal with because, one, it's hard to really have a proper pricing on them, right? It's like a piece of art with an influencer. It's like the price is subject to change. So you can say, okay, like I'll do your post for $50, $500, or $50,000, depending on the person, right? Mm-hmm. The influencer. But most of the time, what really you just are using the influencer for is like their aesthetic appeal, right? To sell a product or service. So that's all that really matters when it all boils down, is how appealing is your content? Like how good looking are the people in your pictures that are sitting outside the restaurant on a patio of a restaurant you're just about to launch? Mm-hmm. So they look hyper realistic. They look just like you and me. So that's also a service that we either offer in our growth partner package, or it can also just be bought or subscribed to individually.
Cool.
So those are our products, guys. Head to www.yychatbots.com. All the prices are there, nice and listed, none of that like hidden crap. And then if you want to learn more, have a consultation, or you have a big business, then we definitely should have a chat. Just submit your information. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And so now we'll go back from my little commercial there.
That's good. You were working really hard on it, so it's just like it's definitely good to.
Yeah. Well, I have to, right? I mean, I have to use platforms like this as well, and it's also, I was able to incorporate the podcast into being a growth partner for a company, because it'll also give them opportunities for sponsorship, so they can do product placement. So instead of Viv Clicquot, we can have their bottle of champagne or their shaker bottle or whatever it may be. We have them on an episode, sponsored content. So Well, trying to pull it together now, man. You were there since the beginning, and
Yeah.
you're just seeing it making steps.
Yeah, it's been cool to watch it grow. It's
Yeah?
been really cool to watch it grow.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you had anything lined up for the summer for performances.
Not really, honestly. I've been, with everything here, it's been kind of hard to plan into the future for that. I'm definitely gonna dive more into the music production side of things than anything, because that's kind of where like my passion kind of like I've realized I'm like I really love playing shows and stuff, but I would really love to play like my own stuff. And I've always had this like hubris about music where I'll listen to a song and I'm like, this is good, but I'm like, I would have done it this way. And now it's really frustrating to go into like my DAW, like Ableton or whatever, and just be like, I don't know how to fucking do this. It's like I'm like, this is so hard, and there's so much that goes into it, and like just the sound design is like, I could sit there and like spend so long on like sound designing just like one little sound in a song.
Yeah.
And so it's been one of the most challenging things I've ever opened up into, and now I'm thankful for it, because it's just like I know like the work that needs to be put in for it, and like sometimes it's just me sitting like staring at my computer being like, I don't want to do this. But it's nice to have those things where you're just like, you have to grind away at it, and like it's just like sometimes it's just time spent in something because I feel like I'm getting nothing done.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. It's just like I'm just spinning my tires. But the next time I come back, I'll be like, oh, I did actually learn something in that session, and it's super valuable now, because I was getting so frustrated. I didn't want to do it again, and I YouTubed it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's just the creative process. It's just like you always look at your product towards the end or whatever. It's like, this is me planning a set or whatever. Throughout the month I'll plan a set, and then like a week before I'm like, this is fucking garbage, like it's like nobody's gonna like it. And then when you perform it, you're just like, oh, okay,
and everybody's vibing, and
everyone loves it, like whatever it is. And that goes for like concepts of restaurants, that goes for menus, that goes for like I'm sure your podcast and stuff too, where you're just like, you always have that kind of like that moment a week before or a month out or whatever. You're just like, I'm not doing like anything right. And then, but you have done all the work. Like you've already done all the work, and if you did do all the work properly and you did apply yourself, you can lean on that. You can just be like, this is going to happen. How it happens, right?
Exactly. And I think if you are able to apply not just the hard work, but if it's paired up with passion, I think that's just the winning recipe. It just because like there may be a failure or setback or an obstacle, if you're passionate about something that you have an unstoppable force of in terms of making an effort on, there's no way you're going to fail. You will succeed at some point in time. Yeah.
That's just being like non-stop with it.
Yeah, just going. Like, it's easy to throw in the towel when times get tough or frustrating and stuff. And I mean, there's been so many times where I've been so frustrated where I've wanted to do that, not just on the podcast, but sports or whatever it was. But the times where I did throw in the towel, I tell you right now, there are times that I've looked back on and been like, shit, I should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
So, but I think those are good stepping stone lessons to learn when you're younger, because when you get to the age that we are now, we're making more serious decisions and life commitments. Now we know, okay, is this the type of thing you quit, or is this the type of thing you work through?
Yeah. And more often than not, it's like if you have like a ethos for your podcast, or like a general like goal or whatever, it's just like you can work towards that, and that's just like, even if you have a day off or something like that, or like an off day, and you can just kind of like reapply yourself and just be like, okay, that's the goal. And even if you seem like you're working this way at it, sometimes you're still working the same way. Like it's just like, so sometimes you can take your restaurant experience or whatever and apply it to your podcast, and like it's just like your sports, your like whatever. It's just like that was all in some way around like working towards like where you're at now. And that's just the funny thing about life, is just like, if you're smart enough, you can take the experiences from anything that you're doing and start applying it back, and like the lessons you're learning from anything.
Absolutely. And even bartending experience, and some serving as well. I'm just now, it's really nice to be able to have all of those years and a network worth of experience, because I can have supplemental income while in the early days of the business by doing bartending on the side, right?
Yeah.
So
how's your injury coming along? I know that you feeling good?
Yeah, man. I did 22 push-ups yesterday.
That's awesome.
So we're getting back, man. We're getting back.
Congrats.
Next summer, I'm gonna look nice, man.
Yeah. Injuries are tough, man. Like, it's just like it's so easy to like take it for granted, but
it's gonna be hot girl summer next summer, I swear.
Nice. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Boy. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, man. Like, what else would you like if you wanted to let anyone know, like audience, about some other ventures that you got going on, some other ideas?
It's mostly been the musical pairings thing for me right now. Like, my music projects have been like kind of where I'm throwing most of my creative energy. But
were you thinking about? Sorry to cut you off, but. Were you thinking of maybe like compiling like a body of work, having like a mixtape or an album or something like that?
Yeah, I have a couple mixes that I haven't released yet. It's honestly just dumb shit. Like, I'll be in the middle of a set and just be like, "Fuck, I forgot to hit record." Like, it's just like just dumb shit like that.
So it's kind of like what happened when we did the first.
A little, like, it's just like I get ahead of myself. Like, I always get nervous when I'm like spinning for the first bit.
Yeah.
And like I'll just like get into it or whatever, and like it's just like mixing off another DJ's stuff is always like a little bit odd to start off a set, and then I'll just like kind of flail the record button, and then I'll just be like, oh my god, I forgot to record. So I do have a couple though, and I'll be starting to release that soon. I'll probably release like my musical pairing sets eventually. For the time being, like, obviously the QR codes lead to the playlists or whatever. But
you know what's interesting about QR codes?
But
is they were never really a thing till COVID, hey? Think about it.
Not as heavily, no.
Yeah.
No.
When they started putting QR codes on all the damn tables,
I hate
that's when it became on a big thing, and it's on everything. They're on business cards now. I have one on my business card. I have like an electronic one.
We do them on menus, but like I hate it so much. Like, it just like the restaurant experience. Like, it's just
it takes it away. Like a place like this. I don't know what your menus are like. Do you have menus or QR codes?
They're gorgeous and fucking expensive.
They
so
are?
It's just like, for us not to have been using them, it's just like annoying.
Are they like what? They're like leathery or something like that?
Yeah, they're like
that nice old school.
Like a book.
Like you're in a library with a nice like pen and.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I was actually talking with I was at the gym yesterday, and we were chatting about like just gym equipment and stuff like that, and like we had these like dumb wet wipes that don't work, and like you're like scrubbing down your
the barbell.
No, just like in general, like this like at gyms now you'll just have like those wet wipes or whatever that you like wipe down with, and I was like same with the menus and stuff like that, because like everyone cleaned their menus back in the day, but now it's like after every use you're like scrubbing them with like some shit.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like that wears the menus down a lot quicker. That wears the gym equipment down a lot quicker. And we're just having a conversation about how funny it is that it's just like everyone's like so obsessed with like everyone else seeing that you're doing the clean or whatever, that gym equipment is gonna have like half its life. You're gonna have to get it like reupholstered soon, because you're just constantly getting people just putting chemicals on it.
And people, I mean, think about how many extra minutes worth of bodies that leaves in the gym. So then you have the members having the perception that that gym is always busy, right? Because everybody's workouts are taking longer now, right?
Oh, true.
You add up all the minutes, right, of everybody's workout. You have 30 people. You have 30 people, let's say, in the gym. Usually they were spending an hour. Now with like wiping in between each set and each thing, you know, seeing them maybe just an hour and 10 minutes. But it adds up, man. And you have like all 30 of those minutes, or all 30 of those members 10 minutes. I mean, that's 300 minutes, right? So
true.
I know it's a weird way to think.
I guess so.
I know it's a weird way to think. It really is a weird thought.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. People don't like busy gyms.
I don't mind it too much, but I don't know. I'm usually just like in my own thing. Like, I'm pretty like adaptable. It's just like if somebody's using a bench or something, I'm like, okay, I'll go do something else.
I like going to the gym at nighttime.
Yeah.
Like at like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
When it's just like super quiet and you're just listening to music, get in the zone.
Yeah.
But it is nice to go in the beginning of the day too and like get all charged up.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like, so I work out at NNP, which was formerly like the Repsol and the Talisman or whatever. It's like that big like white.
Off McLeod there.
Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of like cold plunging and stuff recently.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
which is great. There. Yeah, but
tell me about that. So what's like the whole cold plunging? Like I see a lot of people really all about it in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it's becoming a very big trend.
It is.
I hate cold water, so
me too.
I've been kind of a pussy about it, about trying it.
I know it's like really like a fad right now and stuff, and like now there's stuff.
It's definitely a trend.
It's a huge trend.
It might be like totally. It might be a trend for a good reason, but it definitely is a big trend.
I just know how I feel after, so it's just like my happy place is going. There's a great place called Cigar. It's a kind of kitty corner to Sweet Loretta.
Yes, I heard. Yeah.
And there's like a really hot steam room and a really cold tub, and like I think it's like $60-$70 for 2 hours there.
Nice.
And I can spend like 3 hours, 4 hours just going in between like
really
hot. Like I love it so
good for
much.
You probably, hey?
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel so great and like it's just like it's relaxing to me, and like
Oh, it is good for you then, right?
The cold is like the cold sucks to be in, and like I'll jump in the boat. I jump in the Bow River most Sundays, but it's just like it feels really shitty when you're in there, and then you kind of like let go a little bit, and you're like, okay, this isn't that bad, and you're like you kind of acclimatize to it, and then for the rest of the day, at the very least, you did the hardest thing you were going to do that day. So when I come to work after doing cold plunges and stuff, I'm just like, I don't know, like some shit will be happening. I'm just like, this isn't that bad. Like it's just like I'm like I was like freezing my ass off in cold water earlier, and this is pretty like whatever. But specifically going from the sauna to the cold tub back to the sauna is like when you're freezing your ass off and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to get back in the sauna, and then you go in the sauna and you're just like this jello. You're like, it's so good. So I love doing it. I'm pretty sure it's probably good for recovery and stuff, and I'm definitely in the gym and like training and basketball or like Muay Thai or like whatever like kind of activities I'm doing. Like it definitely helps with like muscle soreness.
Oh, you do Muay Thai. I don't know if you've ever have you told me that before?
Yeah, I'm like super novice or whatever, but I do it for like the Repsol has or NNP has like bags and stuff like that. So it's nice. It's great. It's really good. It's good to kind of get frustrations out. It's great cardio. Yeah. I started training. So our bar manager here, her name's Kim Shi. She is a trainer as well, and she trains specifically like kickboxing. But that's how I got into it. Like I think two plus years ago, I started training with her, and she's super great. So. I think her name on Instagram is just Kim XIE, I think. But if you ever wanted to start training, it's like that's how I started training, and she's like awesome. Like she's like super great. She goes at like your pace. I know a lot of people with like fighting and like whatever it is, you kind of get like this like. It's the same thing with starting a new thing. Like it's just
Yeah,
like you're almost like I don't want to suck at this, and I don't want to suck at this in front of a bunch of people, right? Because it's just like
it's a fight. Yeah.
as a dude, you don't want to be like the guy that's punching the wrong way or whatever, and you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's nice because she's a personal trainer, so she does it out of like a bunch of different places. But we've done it at like our apartment has a gym, and like we've done it out of that gym. So it's just like her, myself, and a couple other dudes or whatever. So it's like if you're looking to get into something, because like most guys I know are always like, oh, I've always wanted to get into that, and I'm like, I know why you didn't, because I didn't get into it for the same reasons, and this was like kind of like a nice introductory to it, rather than just being like the guy that's punching like you're just like fuck, you're just like I look like an idiot, and like it's just like you're always like so self-conscious about it. But and I sucked at the beginning, and now I'm like I can throw a punch and stuff like that, and I definitely like I don't know, it's like I'm not usually like concerned as a dude walking home at night and stuff like that too, but like if there were to have something happen, it's nice to know how to fight in the back.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of extra confidence, right?
Yeah, and like it's like I think through doing that, I would like I haven't been in too many fights in my life, but through that, it kind of makes me avoid it a little bit more and like avoid that confrontation in general and be like, you know what, I just don't want to do this because like.
Well, the other thing too is I think what it is, like the feeling that you're describing, that it might also come from the fact that you just know that you can kick their ass, and it's not proving anything to you to even engage in what they're trying to get out of you. It's like it's not even worth it. You're just like, I have nothing to prove, you know, and that's probably part of what makes you have that feeling, right?
Yeah, and there's like a couple of times here, even like this is like through wasted guests and stuff like that, where I don't know, like there's been some times where it's just like this could happen or whatever, but it's also like it's I don't know, like it's just like it's dangerous. I guess it's like you don't want to like throw a punch the wrong way and then like
no, that's the thing, and I say that to people all the time. I say you could just hit someone the wrong way. You don't have to go in a crazy fight with them, you know, and they trip and tumble and they hit their head weird and they die or they go in a coma and they go to jail, and that's the end of your life. So it's just better to avoid that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I always think about table like that. You can't see on camera, but there's a table corner right there that like that thing's fucking cement. And there's some fight that broke out in here once, like a long time ago, and I was just like watching for a head to hit the corner of that, because I'm just like that would kill somebody for sure, or at the very least like ruin the rest of their life. Like it's just like drunk or not, like it's just like it's like even if you get in a fight, it's like you don't deserve to like have the rest of your life in like a wheelchair or something like that. It's just like it's just so not worth it. So I don't know.
So stay safe, kids.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up our episode, brother.
Yeah. Well, cheers. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Congratulations on 40.
I really appreciate it. Well, I'm not turning 40. It was episode 40.
I know.
I'm turning 30 though.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks, so.
Well, happy early birthday.
I'll definitely invite you out to that if I end up doing anything.
Sure.
But I don't know, man. Becoming an old man, I'm just
an old man. You got tons of time. 30 is the new 20.
So that was episode number 40 on Muay Social with Nathan here again at the Untitled Champagne Lounge. Come down at the end of the month, last Sunday, for the music pairing. So yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming.